Video Barbershop. Let's talk about fades, fading in and fading out on these clips. So I've got this commercial from the 80s that's pretty hilarious, and there's a transition. This clip actually has two commercials within it, and I just want to clip the one commercial. And
what is her secret? Her secret is she can't take it.
Okay, so you can see that real quick transition to this other clip, but if you just snap through here, so if you see the transition itself frame by frame, if I just want this clip, it doesn't really fade fully to the black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to capture the clip from the beginning here, and I've got a little bit of the commercial before it, so I'm just going to actually get when it's slightly past that, we'll just clip that. So this is the clip that I want to work with, and I'm going to use in, say, a different project, for example. Now, you can see the audio goes right up to the edge of where the clip fades out, and it really doesn't fade out that much. But let's say I actually do want to have it fade out more. These are the fade in and fade out controls on the clip management, and it's very simple. Either select your fade in or your fade out. In this case, I want to work on my fade out. There's a slider for the amount of time in which you want it to fade out in, and as I increase this, you'll see this fade increasing, and it has the color that I'm fading to. So in this case it's black. You can also see it also fades the audio out, and you can see the audio waveform decrease. And I'm just going to amplify this up so you can really see the effect, but it'll fade the audio out as well as show you the color that you're fading to. Now, the icon itself turns solid. Some of these icons, you'll notice as you're using it, adjust as you've made changes here. For example, in the audio, if you actually mute it, the icon itself is muted. So if you're ever working and you come back and you're just quickly looking at clips, you can see the icon. Even if you don't hop into the menu, you can see the icon is adjusted. It's something I've just added to some of these to make it a little more user friendly. But let's revert that. We don't want to mute that. But in the fade, so you can see there are a number of color options that you can do. Defaulting to black, of course, there's a white fade you can fade to. There's none. What none is it doesn't fade the video, but as you can see, it actually still does the audio. So if there is a bit of a pop right at the end of a clip during a transition, you don't want to touch the video. You need the video as it is, but you want to just kill it. You can actually do this like a real slow, like a real small, short, a third of a second kind of a fade, just to kill off that little edge audio. If you ever find sometimes when you're merging multiple clips together, the transition may be a little abrupt, and so you can do that really easily here. I'm going to move my cursor off to the side, so as I move this, you can see there's a fade cursor, and that is where the fade starts, and you'll see it on both sides. Now, as I was saying, the color, there's transparent. Now, the difference between none and transparent is transparent looks like it fades to black in here. If you switch this over to the .mov format using the alpha transparency support, the video itself fades to a transparency. And if you're going to use this clip in other video editing suites that allow for multi-track editing and allow you to do some really creative stuff, you can fade here to a transparent and leverage it in other ways for your other applications. In the final setting, we have custom color, and there you can just go through and set it to whatever color you want. And as you can see, I'm always updating the color just as a visual reminder as to what it's fading into, just to help you along. Another thing you can do is just as the clipping menus. If you've watched the clipping video where I talk about being able to adjust the start and end times of clips that you've already done, there's a way to set the clip to the cursor itself, and that adjusts that. Well, same thing, you can set the fade to a cursor if you find visually you want the fade to start actually like right there when the letters are done. We can set the fade to the cursor, and so it'll start from that point on. Just another control for you to do. And like a lot of these, if you want to duplicate this to your other clips, once you have a fade that you really like, if you create a bunch of other clips, you can go in here and hit this button, and it then has applied it to all of your clips, the exact same settings. And you'll see that this clip is fairly large, so it's relatively small, but the same amount of time, because this is a smaller clip, it actually looks a little larger in this clip, and even more so in the smaller clip. It's still the exact same settings as you did before, but relative visualization for that time along your clip itself. And as always, if you have multiple videos, all with multiple clips, and you want to have a consistent fade, like maybe you do a 1 second fade on every clip that you create, just hold down the Option key, hit that, and it'll copy it and clone it to every one of your clips that you've done in every one of your videos. So that is fading in and out, and just I'll hop over here and show you identical controls on the other side, and so you can see as it fades in there and we come and we fade out there. So one thing to remember, this app is focused very specifically on creating clips and cutting videos up, trimming them, cleaning them. It is not designed for, like I said, multi-track layering, like transitions, fading between one clip to the other. This is really designed for extracting each one of these as a separate file, or if you did want to merging them into a single file, but not really for the actual fading transitions between these clips. You can fade to white or fade to black, or fade from this clip to the color that's the majority of the other clip and fade in on that. There's simple transitions like that. That's what this supports. More complicated types of screen wipes or crossfades, that is not what this app is about. This app is about an efficient and simple way to deal with clipping and cleaning. However, I have added in these simple functions. If a lot of you do want that, let me know, and I would love to hear about what you do in your video editing pipelines, and what, like, say that is crossfading is something that you do for all of your videos, and boy, it would be really nice, and you're getting really tired of paying Adobe a monthly fee. So just let me know through the beta. Beta, again, is available on Apple's test flight system. The link is in the description of the YouTube channel if you want to download it for free. It's anonymous. I'm not tracking any emails or anything like that. Don't worry about that. Purely anonymous. You can play with this as long as it's in beta, and you can edit your videos, send me feedback. I'm constantly fixing bugs and adding new features, and so I'd love to hear from you. But that is how you do fades, fading in and fading out in Video Barbershop. All right, thank you.